And moving along the card, I think we got an underrated and interesting fight here with Aiemann Zahabi taking on Javid Basharat. I feel like a lot of people really hate on Aiemann Zahabi. They don't like his style. And I get it. I mean, he has a boring style when he doesn't land that one hitter quitter. But I think that people underrate the guy because you look at him like he's not someone that you're going to say he wins the walking off the bus contest, right? Like if you see him coming off the bus, you're looking at him, you're looking at fucking Francis Ngannou and all these other guys. You're not going to be thinking Aiemann Zahabi as much of anything, right? He kind of looks like just like a ho-hum guy, but he's won 3 fights in a row. He's been able to stick around in the UFC for a long time, and I feel like he has a lot better skills than people give him credit for. But he's running into a guy in Javid Basharat in this fight where he's going to be a significant underdog. He is a significant underdog because Javid Basharat's undefeated and has been nothing short of impressive in the UFC. He's been able to mix it up with his wrestling and his striking and just been pretty high level across the board throughout his whole career. But I feel like this is a good fight. You look at Aiemann Zahabi, he is someone that is a low volume counter striker on the feet that has some of the best defense in my opinion, at least with to defend head strikes in that division. He's very Sean Strickland-esque, man. I feel like people don't rate his defense as highly as maybe they should. Like a lot of people say, oh, it's because of the Ricky Turcios fight that his significant strike defense rate is the number one in the bantamweight division. But you look at some of his other fights, like everyone that he fights is hitting like 15 to 30% on head strikes on Zahabi. It's very hard to hit to the head. He has that same modified Philly shell kind of defense, and then he has the weird blocks that he'll use and kind of a weird guard, and he's difficult to hit. You know, he has a good ability to read distance. He doesn't really close distance and give guys opportunities to catch him on the counter and things like that. So he's a smart fighter, and then you have to respect him now too because when you close the distance on him, he's throwing heat. He's throwing big punches, big left hook, big right hand, and he has significant power. I mean, it doesn't look like it, but he has some of the bigger power in his hands of any fighter at bantamweight. He has 2 one-punch knockouts in his last 3 fights. You know, hand down, man down, like Mark Jackson says, like mama, there goes that man. But not Aiemann Zahabi. He's gotten 2 one-punch knockouts in his last 3 fights. The guy's been out here putting on good performances, and the one thing that we haven't really seen him against since his fight with Ricardo Ramos, and he struggled in that fight with Ramos, with this is an active leg kicker, and I think that could be a factor in this fight. I don't know if necessarily Zahabi has the same defense to leg kicks, to body kicks, just to kicks in general. We're going to have to see, you know, if he could check the leg kicks of Basharat and defend that, then I think it could become a lot more competitive striking fight because Zahabi does have power and Basharat, comes in usually with his hands down. So if he gets countered with a big shot early, gets dropped or something, even knocked out potentially, then it's kind of a moot point. But if he gets dropped, then maybe he could be a little bit hesitant and kind of not as willing to engage, and it could become a lot closer fight, especially if Zahabi's able to deal with the kicking game on the outside. But if Basharat's able to get ahead with the leg kicks, I think that could be the difference in the fight because Zahabi isn't going to be someone that's going to engage like that and change kind of the dynamic with pressure or anything. He's going to be still trying to stick to his game plan to find that big counter. And if Basharat can just chip away at him with kicks, then that's going to be more of the fight. And the other thing in this fight that we're going to see and find out from both these guys really is who has the better grappling. I mean, Zahabi's a black belt. You look at his fight with Ricardo Ramos, he did get taken down a couple times, but showed really good ability to get right back up to his feet. I believe he even swept Ramos or was able to get on top of him at one point. I know he had more control time in the fight than Ramos did, even though he was the one that was taken down a couple times and he never got a takedown. but I do think Basharat will be able to take down Zahabi and probably be able to do it whenever he wants to fairly easily. It's just going to be able, or it's just going to come down to if he's going to be able to hold Zahabi down, or if Zahabi's going to be able to get right back up and kind of nullify the grappling a little bit. But at the end of the day, Zahabi's a good nullifier. He's someone that has that one punch knockout power, so he brings a danger factor and danger element that I think people don't talk about enough. But Basharat should probably be able to get ahead with leg kicks, mix in the takedowns, and just be the smarter and more well-rounded kind of new age MMA fighter. Where Zahabi has really good skills. He's difficult to hurt. He's difficult to land on. He's probably not going to get finished on the ground. But I don't know if he's going to be able to bring the volume and deal with the leg kick output of Basharat, deal with maybe the 4 or 5 takedowns. If Basharat even doesn't have a lot of damage or significant control or gets to dominant positions, the takedowns are going to count in a kind of lower volume type of fight. So I just feel like Basharat's probably going to win this one cleanly via decision. So give me Javid Basharat to take this fight 30-27 or maybe 29-28.